Welcome to You Wager This Week. I am Gabriel Morency, sitting alongside the raging redhead Cam Stewart. It's amazing, Cam. It's hard to believe, but like life itself, time flies by. We're already in the week 3 of the National Football League, and doesn't it feel like just yesterday that you and I were sitting in a radio studio watching the Kansas City Chiefs take on the New England Patriots?
Exactly, man. Time's flying, but hey, we got a lot of wicked games this week, Morency, and I can't lie to you. A lot of football on the card, man. It's going to be a busy weekend.
And no better place to lay it down than at uwager.eu. This show powered by uwager.eu. 5% juice on Friday nights. You can't top that. Loyalty programs, cash back, a ton of monthly prizes, contests, and everything else in between. And oh yeah, for all you trendy guys out there, Bitcoin. Yeah, you know, they process Bitcoin, a lot of different payment methods over at uwager.eu, and a lot of betting options as well. But we're going to focus in on the National Football League on this podcast this evening, as it is week 3 already. And Cam, it's a little bit scary because to me this is one of these weeks where I'm going to be really right or I'm going to be really wrong, because I'm pretty confident in every game that I'm betting right now.
Yeah,
and
me too.
It's one of these deals where there wasn't a lot of thinking for me this week. I liked most of the games throughout the week. And now that they're getting close, you know, sometimes you start to overthink things.
Exactly.
And you're like, well, maybe is this too easy? Is that too easy? I'm going to stick to my guns. Let's start off with the first game on the board, the Baltimore Ravens and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, I just think it's a bad matchup for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You wager line right now is Baltimore -3.5. Total's 39.5. Generally, the better team generally wins these games in London. And I'm not buying this crap about how Jacksonville's used to London. You know what? They're also used. You know what? They're also used to Jacksonville.
And
doesn't
losing.
help them.
And losing.
Yeah, it doesn't help them very much. There, Baltimore Ravens are a better football team. They shut down Fournette. They win this football game. I'll lay the 3.5 at you wager.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. The game, I originally liked the Jaguars in this game, thinking about London, but the more I think about it, I see the Ravens defense just absolutely pounding Bortles. And that's the thing. If they can't get a running game going with Fournette, it's going to be long and ugly. And what does Bortles do when things don't work? Makes mistakes. And the Ravens are very, very opportunistic. So be very, very careful. I wouldn't want to lay the 3.5, but I think the Baltimore Ravens on the money line in some parlays looks really good to me. At you wager $1.85, that's reasonable. I want to take the points. I just can't because I don't trust the Jaguars.
You know, I don't trust the Cleveland Browns laying 1.5 on the road either. This is crazy to me, guys, that the Cleveland Browns are road favorites. We always have to respect the odds maker, but I don't think the odds makers are respecting Jacoby Brissett enough and the difference that Brissett means to the Indianapolis Colts offense. I like the Colts plus the 1.5 in this football game. Took them plus the 7 last week against Arizona.
Yeah, we were all over it.
Sprinkled on the money line. We fell short, but we cashed the plus 7. I think this is a very winnable game for the Indianapolis Colts. And, you know, people are going to be worried about this one. I also think there's going to be some points put up on the board. You know, we saw earlier in the week with San Francisco and the LA Rams.
Bad teams get together, hijinks, lots of weird stuff.
Turnovers, hijinks, big plays. Wouldn't surprise me if Cleveland and Indianapolis both went up and down the field and Indianapolis wins this game like 31-27 or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird game, and you're right, Morency. I can see both teams making mistakes, but the odds makers are wrong in one thing. Cleveland should not be favored. They haven't done enough to be a favorite in the game. I don't love this particular football game, but I will say this. Indianapolis is being disrespected, and you brought up a great point, too. If the Colts, you lose to the Browns, see you later, Chuck. This is going to be the end. The Colts, a lot of these players are actually, they're going to be playing for jobs and future jobs. You can't lose at home to the Browns. It'll be a scar on the franchise.
Yeah, you know what? You figure that that Irsay will cut some slack to Chuck Pagano, owner of the Colts, but his patience could be wearing thin, even though Andrew Luck's there. Like losing to the Cleveland Browns, and especially if they lose in big fashion to the Cleveland Browns, wouldn't shock me if Chuck got canned after this game. But I don't think it's going to happen because I think they're going to get a win for Chuck. Chuck strong, baby. Let's get this done. Give me the Indianapolis Colts plus 1.5. uwager.eu, the number. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers -7. I don't have a big interest in this game, but I sort of get the feeling that the Steelers are going to play better this week, and Le'Veon Bell shows up.
Yeah, the Steelers are a better team. As for the Bears, what do we see? A great performance week 1. Glennon at home, it was a nice safety net, but you take that show on the road, they were brutal. The good news, they're at home. The bad news is, I don't even think we've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers' best football. I think the Bears are a bad football team. Slightly into Pittsburgh, but I don't like to lay a touchdown on the road, Gabe.
Well, last week it was as smooth as an old school Laramie. Smooth. Smoking Jay Cutler and the Miami Dolphins were a very smooth pick last week against the Chargers. They were getting points in that game, and they nearly lost. If the young Ho doesn't miss the kick, then the Dolphins lose that game. Now, they would have covered, but nevertheless, there's a fine margin with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I love the young host missed a lot of kicks.
It's our opportunity. Well, he's a young ho. Yeah. He's a young guy. He's a ho. Young ho.
Young ho.
Young ho. Okay, so, yeah, I don't trust the Miami Dolphins laying 6. You can't do that. Jay Cutler's a money burner against the spread as a favorite in the National Football League, and he's even a bigger money burner against the spread as a favorite on the highway, on the road. You know what? I know the Jets. The Jets might go 0-16 this year. They'll probably win a game. Cam's been stating, no, they'll win a game or two. They're battling hard, though. Their competition level isn't gone. They're going to compete, and I think the Dolphins are in a weird spot here. Dolphins had the hurricane to deal with, and they split. They went to California. That's why they had the advantage. They were in L.A. before the Chargers were. The Chargers were playing on Monday Night Football against the Broncos. The Dolphins were already waiting for them. Now, the Dolphins had to go back to Miami, post-hurricane stuff. First time that they were home in about 10 days or so. Then a quick trip to the Jets. And then they're going to London next week as well. A lot of stuff going on in their lives and their minds. And then in the back of their mind, they're thinking, oh, man, we're playing the New York Jets. This is going to be an easy game. No, I don't think it is going to be an easy game. I think Jay Cutler's going to turn the ball over once or twice. I think the Jets give them all that they handle. Dolphins win by 1 or 2 or something.
Yeah, good you wager line there. We're getting 6 points with the Jets. I'm going to tell you something. In that game in Oakland, they were matching the Raiders for points, if not for a horrible, horrible muff punt at their 4-yard line, and then the Raiders punched them. They hung with the Buffalo Bills. The Jets are battling. I know I'm not saying they're a good football team, but you know what? The Dolphins have no right to be favored by almost a touchdown in this game. I'm going to tell you, and every time historically the Dolphins and Jets get together, very tight games. I'm going to take the 6 with the New York Football Jets.
All right, here we have, we could have another interesting live home dog here. This one, I'm tormented by this game, guys, because I'm a diehard Buffalo Bill fan. I love them, but I don't bet with my heart, despite what some people are. You pick the Bills, You're picking the Bills. Like last week, I picked the Bills plus the points because I thought it was a good play.
Yes.
Everybody else thinks the Bills is a good play this week. The Denver Broncos laying 3 points in this football game. You know, Cam, this is a tough game.
It is tough.
I just don't see how Buffalo's offense is going to move the ball against this very, very stingy Denver Bronco defense.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough, but I'm going to tell you something. We talk about Simeon on the road, Gabe. It's going to be an interesting scenario. Those fans in Buffalo are tough. I'm going to tell you, LaShawn McCoy will be able to run the ball. I think the Bills' defense will do enough. This is a very, very, very short price for the Buffalo Bills. Sign me up. I actually like the 3 points with Buffalo. I know Denver's a good team, but it is a tough place to play. We've been to lots of games at Buffalo, man. It is a house of horrors for young quarterbacks. I was there with Peyton Manning his rookie year. He looked horrible there. Good quarterbacks go to die in Buffalo. If the Bills come out of the gate hot and score early and make a big move, I love them in this game. I'm going to take the 3 points.
I'll tell you what, too. We could talk about the Denver Broncos defense. The Buffalo Bills
defense is awesome.
It's been greght. Against the run, they're the best in the National Football
League. That Hoyer guy is amazing.
Yeah, they've only given up 57 yards a game. On the ground. Very, very stout. So I don't know if C.J. Anderson is going to be able to get it cranked up. It really does depend a lot on Trevor Siemian here. But at the same point in time, you have one of the best, if not the best, secondaries in the NFL taking on one of the weaker wide receiver cores in the NFL in Jordan Matthews and Zay Jones with Harris and Talib.
That's true. That's the
There's
issue.
A lot of advantages. Put it this way. Buffalo would have to play near perfect, and Denver needs everything to go wrong. It has to be one of those Trevor Siemian turns the ball over, and Buffalo, Tyrod Taylor runs for a big play. I don't think Buffalo gets blown out here, but I like the Denver Broncos. But, you know, it's always dangerous. But UAgers got those sweetheart 14-point teasers.
Yeah, that's right. We will be
not just 10-point.
No, we want 14. I like that.
How does Buffalo plus 17 sound?
Amazing. I like those 14-point teasers. No, I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to take the pooch, buddy.
How about a Buffalo plus 17 into Houston plus 28?
That sounds really good to me. Real good.
They all sound good, though.
Yeah. That's why we love those 14-point teasers. You know what?
You know what? If I was doing it, you could put one together here. I honestly believe it. Listen, the Buffalo Bills, they're not going to lose by more than 17.
The Texans won't lose by more than 28, will they?
No, how about 14? The current number's 14 right now. Listen, the Houston Texans gave New England all they can handle in that playoff game last year with Brock Osweiler at the quarterback position. They've had extended rest coming off the Cincinnati win, more time for Deshaun Watson to work with the number one unit.
Yep.
Patriots coming off a blowout win last week. And Belichick, when laying double-digit points, he doesn't really care about covering the number. He's just looking to win this football game. It's going to be tough for Houston to win. I think the New England Patriots are a good survivor pick, but I think 14 points is a little bit high.
It is too many. Houston's defense can keep up. I know New England looks lethal, but I'll tell you one thing, too. Deshaun Watson will do a couple real big things in the game. He might have a running touchdown like he did against the Bungles on Thursday night game. 14 too many. I'm with you. The Houston Texans defense matches up really well against New England. I could see it like New England, a 7 to 10 point win. 14's too many.
Who dat? Who dat? Who dat? Drew Brees. Drew Brees.
We've been the Saints have been letting us down, but this is the week they better not.
Yeah, the breeze hasn't been very windy as of late this year. I'm telling you, the loss of Willie Snead is a bigger impact than people were giving it credit for. But Carolina Panthers beat the Buffalo Bills last week. We talked about the Buffalo Bills' inabilities on the offensive side of the football. Now you get Carolina Panthers. Carolina didn't score a touchdown last week, guys. 3 field goals won that football game for them. 3 field goals is not going to win this football game for them. The New Orleans Saints offense isn't the usual potent Saint offense, but nevertheless, they're not going to get shut out and shut down and only score 3 or 6 points. So, to me, Cam, this is a 23-20 game. The total's a little low at 46.5, but I think it's a pretty accurate number. If you look at the history of these two teams, they generally play 3-point games in the low 20s. I think it's, once again, I think the Saints can win this game outright, actually, 23-20. Money line's plus 210, but I think they're a real dangerous live dog.
I agree. I love the Saints all week. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to tell you one thing, too. Carolina, Cam does not look right. There's something wrong with the throwing motion there. They looked pitiful against Buffalo. They weren't even that good against San Francisco, people. The 49ers dig their own grave in that game. New Orleans is a desperate team, 0-2 coming in. Divisional rival game. They got to show up. 5.5 points, too many points. I'm on Breeze and the Saints.
This is one game I think we're disagreeing. You got a Falcon. Versus a lion?
Lion.
Restore the roar. Defend the den. Versus rise up.
Rise up.
Every time I hear that song. In
Parachute Club?
No,
rise up, rise up.
No, there's a new one. It's like a new ballad.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's a new ballad.
It tells you how old I am. I don't know what's going on. New ballad. I sound like Babano there with the bad songs.
Yeah, that was a bad song. I like the Dirty Bird.
Okay, well, I'm going to restore the roar.
Only one team can be 3-0 here. I'm going to rise up.
I like the Lions, what they're doing. I don't think they're getting a lot of respect. Atlanta's better at home. Hey, their show is very dangerous in any type of situation, but I will tell you, Detroit is a team that is starting to feel it. I like what Stafford's doing. Even the running game, Abdullah and the rest of the guys are getting it done. Good receiver play, Gabe. Not making mistakes like the old Lions team. I actually think they hang around and they could beat Atlanta. I'm going to take the 3 points with the Lions. I know it's not going to be a popular play.
It's been a nice start for the season, without a doubt, for the Detroit Lions. But I think they got a favorable scheduling situation, or at least favorable in the sense that, listen, they were losing by 10 points against Arizona. David Johnson gets hurt. The wheels fall off for the Cardinals. Last week, I think anybody would have beaten the Giants in that.
Yeah, they were pitiful.
The Giants were just that bad. Not to discredit what the Detroit Lions have accomplished. I am a Caldwell fan. I'm a Stafford fan. I'm a Lion fan. I was on the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football. But I'm also a Falcon backer. And ultimately, when push comes to shove, only one of these teams could be 3-0. And I think the Falcons are a better team. Detroit's got a home field, but I don't think Atlanta's going to be phased. It's a favorable situation considering it's a dome team playing in the dome.
Yeah, that's another thing about Atlanta. It's scary. If it was on grass, I'd like Detroit a lot more.
Yeah, dome team in the dome. All right, this game's a high-profile game. This next one in a rotation.
Not our favorite game.
Number 479, New York Giants, 480, Philadelphia Eagles, uwager.eu. Giants are getting an even 6 points. I got to tell you, I hate to do this, but if I had to take this game, I would take Eli and hold my breath with the New York Giants. I think the spread's a little high, but I'm not betting this game.
I agree with you 100%. I can't lay 6 with the Eagles. The Giants are going to be they're a wounded animal right now. They always seem to show up when you think they're dead. They're just one of those teams, but I don't have confidence laying it down with Philly or the Giants. I think it's going to be a pass game, Gabe. Lots of beautiful games on the board. We don't have to bet every single one.
I do have a lean to the over.
You like points in this game? I don't know. These defenses could show up.
Just like I like the over in the Falcon-Lion game, over 51. That's a good teaser game, too. Detroit Lions plus 10.
Yes.
Over 44.
Yes, I like that a lot.
All right, so speaking of wounded animals, you and I agree on this. I like betting on desperate football teams.
So do I.
And the Seattle Seahawks aren't quite as desperate as the Giants are, not quite as desperate as the Bengals are or the Saints are. But they've been embarrassed.
Oh, yeah. No, they're laughingstock. Their offense on every show.
They're 1-1. Yes, they won last week, but nevertheless, it's not like they have a swagger in practice or anything like that. Yet Seattle have historically been slower starters over the last couple of years. Pete Carroll, they usually peak at the right time of the year. Yet this is worse than usual. You're a Seahawks fan, Ken. we've seen them struggle out of the gate before, but not like this. Like, they're having a hard time getting first downs.
No, their offensive line is pitiful. Thank God they got a quarterback in Russell Wilson that's mobile, or else they'd be in worse shape. But I'm going to tell you something. The old Seahawks, everyone talked about, oh, they're going to the East Coast. Don't worry about it. It's a 4:05 start. They've been playing better in games where they have been going east. You talked about it, angry team. And Tennessee doesn't have a very good defense. If Seattle's going to get it done, it's going to be this week. And I'm going to tell you, I like Russell Wilson in fantasy. I like him to show up this week. Chris Carson, the kid out of Oklahoma State, has been a good back. Eddie Lacy's not going to see the field because he's too fat. He's got a big paunch like the bear over here. And I'm going to tell you, the line's actually gone down. I like Seattle to win outright. Give me plus 125, uwager.eu, money line.
I think the Seattle Seahawks can win this game outright as well. Russell Wilson, 13-3-1 against the spread in his career as an underdog. And this one's pretty simplified for me in the sense that it's Pete Carroll versus Mike Mularkey.
True.
Like I said, this is like Pavarotti taking on Justin Bieber on American Idol. Bieber would probably win in today's society.
That's right, but Pavarotti's got skills.
Yeah, this is like what's some good, Pinto next to a Lamborghini.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Mike Mularkey versus Pete Carroll.
Yeah. I like that. Mike Mularkey's like a ladder, broken down.
Yeah, he's a ladder. Good point, ladder. Yeah.
And Pete Carroll's more of a sports car.
He's a Lexus.
Yeah, yes, a Lexus.
He's a Lexus. 2.5. Give me the points. I think they can win the game on the money line
So,
as well. The
I'm gonna
total's
do both.
41.5 in that football game. This Chiefs-Chargers game, it's going to be a close game. All Chargers games are close games. So, you can almost tease this game to the Chargers plus 10. I'm telling you, Chargers are always like 6-point games. Phillip Rivers is always desperately trying to come back late. They might actually do it this time and come back late. This game concerns me. I like the Chiefs, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Chiefs won by 3. They won by 2. They win on a last-second field goal. The Chiefs, no one's getting blown out in this game. It's going to be a close game.
Great point, and I like the desperate. You talked about the kicker. He can't get it done. The Chargers are a desperate team. They know Kansas City's coming to town. They always play these guys tight. Gabe brought up a good point on the show, though. The Chiefs will have more fans there because the people in LA.
It won't be a neutral field. It's going to be
like
a Chiefs game.
More like Arrowhead Junior there, kind of. But I'm still going to take the points with the Chargers.
Arrowhead Light.
Yeah, Arrowhead Light. We like it. I like the 3 points, Gabe. I agree. I think it's going to be like a real last possession type of game, and the team wins by maybe 1 point. I get 3 with the pooch. Give me the Chargers. Phillip Rivers finds a way to get it done.
I'm going to tell you, I told people earlier in the week the Cincinnati Bengals are the play at plus 9. People start mocking me now. Look at the movement.
Look at the line.
It was down at 8. And I even told Cam on Red Heat and Rage Radio on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network, I said, Cam, wouldn't surprise me if this game hits 7. This is a classic so-called sharp versus square because a casual fan in a sports bar would laugh at you if you said you like the Bengals this week and Andy Dalton. But it's pretty clear that somebody does, and the big boys do because it's down to 7.5 right now. Plus 300 on the money line, and I'm telling you, Cam, I've been saying this for a couple of days. I think the Bengals can win this game outright. I have a feeling the Packers are going to be flat this Sunday.
Packers are dealing with a lot of injuries on the offensive line.
Looks like Beluga's going to play, but I don't know.
What'd you say, Aaron Rodgers, the only team he hasn't beat is the Cincinnati Bengals?
The only team in the NFL that Aaron Rodgers never beaten in his career is the Cincinnati Bengals. He's only played them twice, but he is 0 for 2. Against Marvin Lewis.
Cincinnati is going to be pissed. You talked about firing the offensive coordinator. A lot of guys on the team are happy now. No one expects them to do anything. This is a very dangerous team, like a Bengal tiger with rabies. They are.
And it's not like their defense is terrible.
No, their defense is fine. I'm actually, and the line tells you all you need to know. People are going to smash Green Bay. It's going the other way. I'm telling you, I wish we got more, but I'm going to tell you, I like the Bengals plus the 7.5.
Yeah, they're going to cover the number here. I don't know if they win the game outright, but I think it's worth a sprinkle at plus 300. Oakland Raiders laying an even 3 right now over at uwager.eu. Cam against the Raiders. Total's climbing up to 55.5.
Yeah, I really like the over.
It's going to get up to 56.5, I bet.
Well,
you better bet it soon.
How do you take the under in this game? The Oakland won't stop Washington, and Washington's not going to stop Oakland. I could ding, 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 ding. This is going to be an old school boat race. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a track meet, and I do like the over. You like the Raiders in this game? I do like the Raiders. Yeah, I lean to the Raiders, but I'm not fully confident.
You look at Kirk Cousins and the struggles in big moments and big games at home over the years, and it's starting to add up. 2 years ago, they got their ass handed them in that playoff game to the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
Last year, they could have beaten the Carolina Panthers. They would have made the playoffs on Monday Night Football late in the season when the Panthers were beaten down and not playing for anything. They couldn't get it done. Then the next Sunday, they were playing the New York Giants, who weren't playing for anything, and the Redskins couldn't win that game.
Exactly.
Then, they didn't get blown out in week 1 against Philadelphia, but they lost again.
Yep.
Like, it's a leap of faith to trust them that they're actually going to beat the Raiders, who are good. Raiders are a good road team under Del Rio, too. Very good road team. And finally, in closing, dun, 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 dun. Curious to see how the Dallas Cowboys bounce back after the first time that they got punched in the mouth. They've lost games with Dak and Elliott before. This is the first time they're ever embarrassed with those two.
The Broncos slapped them around. They made them look like a joke. They got to respond. They're a real football team. They respond. And as for the Arizona Cardinals, the loss of Johnson's been absolutely huge. Gabe, they've looked awful. Like the Cardinals were supposed to be a team that was going to get the Colts. They are a bad football team. And if Dallas is ready to play, they should cover that number.
All right, guys, this was You Wager this week. Check it out, guys. Great sports book. All kinds of payment methods.
Wicked bonuses.
Payout methods. Great bonuses, man. Up to like $1,100, $1,175. 5% juice on Friday nights. Cash back. Loyalty programs. Free contests. Great stuff. uwager.eu. If you like this podcast or if you want this podcast to continue throughout the season with our rapid-fire NFL thoughts, college football thoughts, and everything else in between, open up an account at UWager. Do it. Go over to sportsrage.org. Click our link and tell them Sports Rage sent you. uwager.eu. Other than that, you're on your own. Enjoy the games. May the winners be yours.